pinnacle of enemy encounters in RPGs, and rightfully so. They're legendary powerhouses that challenge any veteran gamer. For this list, we look at the most memorable dragons in RPGs. This can be based on importance to the plot, the hype behind them, their story, or just pure awesomeness. Of course, this list will have major spoilers, so brace yourselves. They start right away.
Mate.
Number 10. Null, Lunar Silver Star Story. While not super obvious when you start off your travels, your cute flying cat companion named Null is actually a dragon. During an emotional moment in the game, Null must save his friends when they are defeated by the big baddie, Galleon. This awakens his powers, allowing him to magically transport his friends to safety. Later on, at the end of the game, Null matures into a white dragon and flies the party to the final dungeon, the Fortress of Alfina. He's a friendly cat that can turn into a dragon. What more do you want? Number 9. Avatar of Akatosh, The Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
I do what I must do. I cannot stay to rebuild Tamriel. That task falls to others. Farewell. You've been a good friend in the short time that I've known you. But now I must go. The dragon waits.
The Avatar of Akatosh is the final form Martin Septim, the last emperor of the Septim dynasty, takes when he breaks the Amulet of Kings in the Temple of the One. After mixing his blood with Akatosh's, he transforms into a badass dragon that's on fire. While in this form, he does battle with Mehrunes Dagon, a Daedric prince bent on invading the land, and wins. He sends the prince back through the gates of oblivion, and Martin is turned to stone while still in his dragon body. This is the finale of the Elder Scrolls game, marking it as a pretty hype ending, even if you just stand and watch it. Number 8. Kaiser Dragon, Breath of Fire series. The Kaiser Dragon, or Rudra in the first Breath of Fire game, is the ultimate dragon form that Ryu, the main character in all games, can assume. The form is often large in size, has huge horns, and uses the most powerful physical strikes, breath attacks, and deals non-elemental damage. This dragon comes from either a difficult trial to prove Ryu's strength, or a stressful situation stemming from a one-sided battle or being wiped out by a scripted boss fight. Whatever the case, it boasts an impressive stat line and can wipe out multiple enemies in an instant. The only drawback is that in certain games, such as Breath of Fire 3, if you do not mix the right dragon genes when transforming, it will be summoned as a berserker type, and can wipe out your own party if you're not careful. Number 7. Dragon God, Chrono Cross. Have the last few dragons been too straightforward? Well, here's a complex one. The Dragon God was a race of cybernetic organisms that took on the form of mechanical flying reptiles. A fancy description for a dragon. It was originally born as one form, but split into the fire, water, earth, sky, black, and green dragon, with the 7th dragon emerging from the split, but that doesn't matter too much for this list. During the game, you must confront the 6 dragons and obtain their relics. Each one of them places their hope in Surge, the main character, to defeat Fate, the future-altering time entity, Fate, a supercomputer made by Balthazar, which was made possible by using Robo from Chrono Trigger. Eventually, the 6 dragons combine, stealing the frozen flame to use against humans and wipe them out. As Surge, you fight the Dragon God, while some sweet boss music plays, ending the threat against humanity. Number 6. Bahamut, Final Fantasy series. Conqueror of the skies, Bahamut has known many names. The Dragon King, the Hallowed Father, the First Sire. Bahamut is one of the most powerful summons in the Final Fantasy games. His signature attack is called Mega Flare, which sends a giant fireball towards the enemy and utterly destroys them. Bahamut takes on many different forms throughout the series, as well as roles, often as an optional boss to prove that you're worthy to wield his power. He takes on a more destructive role in Final Fantasy IX at the hands of Kuja, killing Queen Braun and nearly wiping out the entire city of Alexandria. He appears in almost all major Final Fantasy games, has an appearance in Super Mario RPG, and is confirmed to be the titular dragon of the Super Nintendo game Bahamut Lagoon. It's hard not to know who Bahamut is when you're an avid RPG gamer. Number 5. Levanthan, Odin's Sphere.
さあ出てこいレバンタン目覚めの時は来たそのゆりかごから急いで這い出せ
During the earlier parts of the game's overlapping story, Levanthan takes on a form of a small hatchling dragon, wearing the crown of King Valentine. Even as a small whelp, he is capable of a large dragon breath that fills the screen and is never truly defeated when characters encounter him. Fast forward to Armageddon, the ending of the game where the whole world is falling apart, and Levanthan rests in the cauldron to absorb the phosons the device has accumulated, phosons being this game's life force. Upon awakening from his nap, he grows exponentially, embodying the prophesized dragon in the Arion Saga texts. The Lord of Snakes consumes all left behind. Born in chaos and fire, sleep in mother's arms, life disappears from the land. All comes to an end. Number 4. Divine Dragon, The Legend of Dragoon. Known as the strongest dragon among dragons, the Divine Dragon lives up on the mountain of the Mortal Dragon. The Divine Dragon was originally sealed there by the Winglies, a race of winged beings, in fear of falling victim to its insane amount of power. The dragon eventually breaks the seal, tears off the chains binding him, and destroys a large portion of the Crystal City Deningrad. After obtaining the Dragon Block Staff, one of the two items the dragon is weak against, Dart and the party take on the dragon in a long, tedious fight that requires hours of level grinding beforehand. It is one of the most difficult boss fights, and my most memorable one from the entire game. After the fight, the main antagonist, Lloyd, acquires the Divine Dragon's spirit by slitting open its eye. This item is later used by Dart in the final battle of the game. One thing I have to say is that, man, the Divine Dragon is so ugly. Number 3. Seath the Scaleless, Dark Souls. The bitterness and envy of Seath's dragon brethren and their stone scales brought him to betray them, sharing their weakness to Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight. Together they destroyed the everlasting dragons, pushing them to the brink of extinction. As thanks, Gwyn anointed Seath with the title of Duke, gifting him with a shard of his lord's soul. Seath went on to building the Great Archive, experimenting on various specimens far and wide in order to achieve immortality. As he continued his research, his mind faded, and he descended into madness. Despite his insanity, he discovered the key to immortality in the end, through the use of the primordial crystal. The same crystal plays a role in his boss fight, where you must destroy it in order to deal any damage against Seath. Number 2. Angelus, Drakengard.
Kill me if you desire, but you can never dirty my soul, wretched human.
Tell me, do you still want to live, dragon?
Angelus, also known as the Red Dragon, is a very proud and, well, toned down in the North American release, an extremely racist dragon on the levels of genocidal hate. She makes a pact with the main character Kaim, removing his ability to talk in order to seal the contract. Over the course of the game, she softens her views on humans as she develops a close relationship with Kaim, to the point of offering up her own life to become the Goddess Seal in order to protect him. The said seal is needed to keep the world from falling into chaos, but is often extremely painful and places a heavy burden on the seal's body. The pain is said to cause many of the previous goddesses to resort to suicide in order to end their suffering. The proud and powerful Red Dragon reveals her true name, Angelus, to Kaim before being sealed, stating that he is the first and last human to know her name. She then fades away, and it is a very emotional scene to say the least.
There is but one thing I wish for you to remember. Angelus. My name is Angelus. You are the first and the last of your kind to know my name.
Number 1. Lombardia, Wild Arms 3. Taking on a very different tone, my number 1 is one of pure awesomeness. Lombardia is a mechanical dragon that has the ability to freaking transform. She serves as the transport vehicle in Wild Arms 3, landing on the map in her dragon form and folding up into a jet, or aeromech mode, when flying in the sky. Oh, did I mention that she can fire missiles too? Yeah, that happens. Lombardia is one of the last dragons left alive on Filgaia, and is an ultimate weapon of legend. She can make contact with Gallows' mind, a summoner, and if she wanted to, she could crush his soul like a grape. Virginia and the group convince the dragon to help them achieve peace, so that Lombardia may rest, knowing that she does not have to fight anymore.